the steeper country, in the higher in the valleys, it might be hard to find the material. You just never know. In which case, they might end up being below the swale connections. But there's nothing you can do about that because of the way you've got to develop. Also,
yeah, it was more about proposed sites. So, just looking at it and go, okay, where could one potentially be? Probably be a lot less dams than what's on that plan.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay. So that you understand that, and then he was saying that the graders will definitely go through the bottom fast, but you might have trouble getting all the swales in the top. So when it comes to putting your swales in, depending on your progress, you're going to have to sort of gauge, like, okay, what's the priorities on your swales?
Yeah, and that's why I thought, look, I'll break up the swales to the blue ones, which are the primary swales, and then the purple ones are, if I've got time, I'll then prioritise them.
Okay, that's what that is. I've got that. I've got the bare map, blank map up on the up in front of me.
Yep.
Projected, and I've just been going through them. Is there one particular map you think we're best to start on? That's a nice one. The faded map looks good.
The faded map's good, and also the wet dry. I was using the wet dry map a lot, so with a few of those purple swales, I can redirect some of that water to the drier areas.
Wet dry. Wet dry.
Oh, yeah. And while I've got you, I will share my screen to you if I can, and I'll show you what else I've done. Start sharing. I've been able to import the wet dry map into Google Earth. I'm not sure if that's coming through on your screen there, Geoff. So it's a bit fiddly to get the graphical map aligned onto the Google Earth system, but from here I was able to actually construct all the swales and so forth. Yeah. So that way we can get GPS coordinates and all that of the swales. I'll just turn off the background map, and then that way I've got it all in Google Earth now.
Okay, it might not be perfectly accurate, but when we've tried lining LiDAR and Google Earth up, the LiDAR... Google Earth...
Yeah, when you look at the... Yeah, I've pretty much got it spot on. There's a map program called Map Tiler, and it allows you to get multiple geo reference points on the map, and then you can align that up to Google. Took about 20 points, but it got it pretty much accurate within half a meter, I'd say.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of fiddling, but yeah, if you see,
yeah, you can draw. So you've got all the maps on there.
I've only done the wet dry map to align up, and but yeah, it came across really well.
But you can 3-dimensionally fly around it.
Yeah,
that's going to impress. Like, as most of the focus of this consultancy is to get it approved, or to get them to say, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, and then go to the next step from there.
It's probably the councillors who have to be impressed by the mapping. Over the years, even prior to the internet, really good paper graphics got us through council. We had a job in Queensland that for 2 years, they wouldn't even look at it, and then we put the money into a really good graphic artist and came in with the good graphics, and they approved it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really
when there's a graphical representation, it sells the vision.
Well, they've got no vision. Councillors don't have much vision, So, and Google Earth, when Google Earth first came out, they were really impressed with that kind of map you've got now, flying around in 3D. that was something that it grabbed them as if it was real or not real. But if you took them out on this land, they'd freak out about getting birds in their smart pants or something.
I'm more worried about snakes and whatnot here.
They're worried about things we're not worried about and can't see what we're trying to tell them, right? Because they're too distracted. But on a screen projected on a projector like I've got here, they're in the movies and they feel comfortable. You can see it grabs their attention. So I think that will work well. So on this map here, you've put this together, but is there any map where you've given me a key that what purple means, what red means, what brown means?
No, I was going to discuss that with you.
Okay.
I'll just bring up my one as well. Yep. Okay, so the easiest one, that big pink section, that's the proposed village.
Is that all on for you?
Yep.
For some reason,
it's even level.
Even level. Yeah. Pretty unusual considering what it's standing on. Okay, so this is the village.
That's the village zone. Yep. Just above that orange area, that will be part of the carbon planting project, and it'll be a future silver pasture for dairy cattle. I've specified that one for dairy cattle because we've got an old dairy there next to the creek, so those few cows can stay on that side of the property.
What did you say it starts off as?
That will be part. That'll be part of the carbon project, yeah. So that will be a future silver pasture. The red area above that, that's also the part of the carbon project, future silver pasture, but that one will be more for pigs, adult pigs. So rotate sows and boars around. Yeah. The light green just above those two areas, that's also part of the silver pasture, but I think that'll be more towards a food forest area, just because it's a bit steeper. Those two, yep. The yellow area under that red section, that would be the cropping / market garden vegetable production zone. The brown areas above all that is selective firewood harvesting.
Yeah.
So that will remain as trees. The red, so that green area underneath that and to the right of that, that will be again part of food forest. All the green areas are food forest.
Yeah. All this big one up here.
Yep. That big area below that green area, that's again silver pasture.
Yeah.
So that will be for like beef and sheep. Yep. Yep. Those red areas, they are priority habitats. So conservation areas.
This one and this one.
Correct. Yep.
But that's different. That red's different, or is that conservation?
Yeah. No. The light red is the silver pasture pig area.
That one.
So the dark red, that's the pig area, and those dark red ones are priority habitat. Yeah. Then the dark green areas, that's Knighton's plantation.
These ones.
Yep. And yep, yeah. And a bit to the right as well.
Oh yeah, right.
Yep. And again, that dark brown area in the middle at the bottom, that's also sustainable firewood production.
And here.
Yes.
Where's the industrial area gone?
Oh, sorry, just above that pink area. It's a little faded, but it's a purplish area. That'll all be the industrial area, like shedding and whatnot. Correct. Yes.
Right. And what's this little thing right on the top here? That's nothing.
That's essentially nothing at this stage. I haven't quite figured what to do with that area there, but that might be planted out with. It'll be part of the silver pasture, the carbon project, but I might add in additional flowering species and whatnot, just to beautify that position.
That's a hilltop.
So that's the hilltop, yeah.
There's one up there as well, yeah? Is that, or is that just, that's...
Yeah, a lot of that is native forest.
That's just native forest.
Yeah, so I've left that alone.
Wow, that's quite a key. It's a lot of things keyed in. It would be interesting to provide for council that kind of keyed areas. You know, like the area that's left in wildlife, or the area is pretty difficult to do.
Yeah. One thing I haven't put on the map yet is like up Cabin Road, just above that centered red priority habitat area. That will create a habitat channel up the hill as well. I just forgot to color all that in.
Here?
Yeah, so up Cabin Road, either side of Cabin Road, and up in the native areas above that, that'll all be priority habitat. Wildlife transportation route.
Yeah. All right, and blue is the priority swales.
Priority swales, yeah.
What size excavator are you getting?
About 6 ton. For 8 weeks.
What type of excavator? What's the brand?
Kabuto, I think. Kabuto. Oh, mind my pronunciation. Tilt bucket. Kubota, yeah.
Orange one, little orange one.
Yep. With cabin and.
I don't know how they run. They all got different speeds and, you know, different sensitivities. There's even Chinese ones now that are good at last, surprisingly. You know, there's, you know, which one's the most powerful, but like, you know, Caterpillar are the most powerful usually. But then a little bit jumpy, you know, when they're on full speed, different things. People talk different. I patch these very fast, but not very powerful, you know, they critique them all in different ways.
Yeah.
You're hiring it.
Sorry?
Are you hiring the Kubota?
Hiring, yeah, dry hire.
Right. Okay.
I've got 3,000 survey flags on order. They should be arriving within the week. I've got 12 cans of line marking paint also on their way. And pretty much most of June we'll be surveying and marking out all the swales. So come 1st of July when the excavator arrives, I can just hit the ground running and just focus on the machine work.
And you're going to be working on your own, surveying and driving, or is someone helping you?
I've got family here that can help as well, but yeah, probably 80% of it will be me.
If someone can survey in front of you, it's going to speed you up.
That would definitely, yeah.
And which swales are the priority? Because, you know, isn't it Font Hill needs to start planning? Which is the most priority in time schedule?
It will be those sloped swales on Font Hill, and following that, the sloped swales on Pig Creek, and the ones on the flatter areas. If we run out of time, we can get a grader in later on.
Yeah, that'll do it. No, that's much quicker, and of course can be a big grader, and you can get them that have got a laser pickup on them.
Yeah, yeah, which is great. They just follow the digital map and use the laser for their blade and laughing.
Yeah. But I usually survey for them so they can see it, but then they can just adjust it as they go. The swale may be different sizes. That's also I'm thinking. So if you're coming down here with a grader, it could be a lot wider at the bottom. Yeah. Like a flatter, broader profile. And up on the steeper country, when you're getting so let's just talk about this. When we're going into Font Hill forestry, or any of this is going to be covered in forest. Mm-hmm. We planted it. It's not going to be. You're not going to be working in there again for 25, 30 years, are you?
That's why it's critical to get it done right now.
But
once the trees are in, we can't change anything. So it's crunch time.
You know, do these swales need to double as access?
They can for like the farming side of things. So if you're in a side by side or a quad bike and all that, that'll make getting up on the hills a lot easier. I would like to incorporate farm tracks and roads behind the swales as well, or centered in those areas.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about whether they, in the steeper country, whether they can be small, you know, like you don't have to be huge swales.
Yeah.
Speed you up a bit. You know, there might be crucial ones that are really long.
Yeah, those two centered ones, I think they're the main ones to keep as wide as possible. That the others can be smaller.
Yeah, it's like, you know, some of these swales aren't necessarily going anywhere particularly, and could be, you know, a smaller size. Just to get you down in the distance.
Yeah, and I sort of figured most of those purple swales as well, they'd be like no more than a metre wide anyway.
They could be a lot smaller. Okay. Yeah. But I think you need to have your options open there, but it just depends how quick this machine's going to go through this country. Most of it, you know, what kind of material you think you're going to be digging through?
Most of it is topsoil, thankfully. I mean, there's about metre and a half of topsoil on most of the property.
Yeah, because it's a cooler climate. Yep, good topsoil. And the bottom land would be really deep topsoil down in these flats.
Oh, very. Yeah, you get down there and our property hasn't had cattle on it for probably about 20 odd years. You dig into the ground and you can smell the cow manure still. So it's pretty good.
A couple of metres of topsoil down there, and even a metre on the side of the hill.
Yeah, to give you an idea, I mean, Pig Creek itself, that channel, water channel, that's 2 metres below the actual soil level. So it's a fair drop down there. I would like to widen the creek and put in like leaky weirs later on and sort of create little ponds and so forth. But yeah, it's a fair amount of topsoil on those flat areas.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, if you need him, Daniel, my son, would be quite an asset if you've got sort of questions as you go along. He kind of specialises in repairing dams or you know, putting in more sensitive systems for, you know, people who've got old earthworks that have never been done well and convert and different. He's always getting himself in some strange situations. He's up at the back of Kyogle at the moment doing like 6 kilometres of track that it's been in there forever, but it all got damaged in the big floods, and there's funding to do these things. But he's up on the side of a mountain, you know, in amongst big landslips, old landslips. Ooh. There's chunks, you know, 50-metre drops and stuff like that, you know, and he's having to sort of poke big rocks to see if they fall out of the hill, you know.
Scary brown underpants work.
Yeah, it's solid country, but then there's these ancient slips. Like some of them are like apparently in 1918 there was a big stuff, but a lot of big slips in that area. You can see them actually. He's just showing me before on the Google Earth. You can see where the old slips were, but you know, it's giant rocks in the slips. So if you recut it and you come across a big rock, you've got to try to encourage it to drop or figure out whether it's going to stay where it is. But it doesn't sound like you've got anything like that. You just want to be careful that you don't like get into trouble on some of the steep stuff. So start on stuff that's reasonably easy as you go, and then build into the steeper stuff. As you get into the gully, if you come round to the gully, that's where it's going to get awkward. You get to a point where you've got to cut yourself a flat just to sit on it to build the swale. There's a little bit of unknown here as to what you're actually going to be able to achieve, not knowing how quick you're going to be able to go with this earth mover, with this equipment. But all credit to you for having a go. So that looks like a hell of a lot of areas start putting into food forest, but you're talking about almost generational work, aren't you? I mean, this. Yeah. If you're talking about all this green in some kind of very broad food forest, it's like a forest plan, yeah.
Exactly, and within that there'll probably be different zones for different food forest species based on your aspect and so forth as well. So we'd mix things up a bit.
So you like broad, large species like chestnut?
Yeah, I mean, like the nut species, I'll be more focusing in the pig area. So when we have excess nuts, it drops to the ground, and the pigs can forage on that waste stream. So we multiple different species for different zones. But first off, it's all about the carbon planting project. So they'll be planted out with natives in that 6-metre grid pattern. And once those trees are established, we can come in later on and add in food forest species.
Will you add, or will you clear a few trees to get a food forest in, you think?
We can't clear anything as part of the carbon project, but they're spaced far enough apart, and there's a lot of understory species within the carbon project, so we can add in other species in between those understory ones.
Right. Okay. And the food forest species will be able to compete with the same in relation to size.
Yeah. We'll be very selective on what we'll be picking.
So tell me the progression of the design now. So where are we up to as far as you can't sell any of this? You can't pre-sell until you've got approval. Is that the idea?
Correct. Yeah.
Where are we with the approval process?
Well, I think next thing I think we've got to work on is the access tracks. And then once I've got that, I've already got a bit of a rough idea of the proposed locations for each site, which are right behind the swales, so they can take a grey water overflow and so forth. Once we've got the access side of things roughly knotted out, then I can present it to council and get a bit of a rough idea of where we can go from there, and they'll tell me what the next step is. More than likely, the town planning step at that point.
So you're going to say on contour, as close to contour along the back of the swales.
Yep.
And then where we cross swales, we're going to have to try and find shallow ridges, if possible, to come straight down the spine of a ridge. Or are those tracks already there?
Some of the tracks are already there in some locations. They're literally just dirt tracks. There's no gravel, so they'll still have to be built up anyway.
And your quarry's not that far away?
Just at the bottom of the map there.
This one?
Yep.
So, like things like this track here is coming right down a ridge. Like a lot of them are very much close to the ridge. It looks like there's a track down that steep ridge there.
Yeah, there is.
You don't want to come down too steep a ridge, but you're just going to have to get a grade on it. What is the best map to see the access tracks, you think?
Probably the X-ray.
Yeah, I was looking at that before. It's a nice map. Yeah. So now the tracks are marked in the dark colour.
Mm.
So this is the village.
Correct. Yep.
Now there's going to be intense access here.
Yep. High density.
But then around the property, what's going to be, I'm not sure that's perfectly in focus. No, it's not bad. Let me get my pencil in the other room. 1 second.
Sure.
So my main road comes in here.
Yep.
At what point don't we need to access the property, or does it just, it's all access? Here we leave the property, don't we? That's where we leave.
Yeah, that's
where we
yep.
enter. And then we, your farm track to your farmhouse. That's this one. Is it?
That will be that one. That one doesn't go all the way up to the house yet. That's a pretty good stone forestry road.
Where's that? Where's that? There.
It just finishes at that T intersection that you can see there. So I've got to get that extended. In the future, I want to run that straight up and then up next to the dairy to the house.
It's going to come across this swale and then come over to the house.
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's going to be a crossing there. Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be a crossing there. That's going to be a crossing pipe there. And here, if we get this one in. And then this is Font Hill Road, yeah?
That one's Cabin Road.
Cabin. That's staying because that's actually a road.
That's actually a road, yeah.
We've left the property already. Yeah.
You're right at the top of the property there.
Oh, yeah, there.
Yeah, now you're off. Yep.
So what are other major roads?
Then there's Font Hill Road, which is right at the bottom of the where you started Cabin Road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that middle one. That's it. Yep.
Wow.
And the only other track that has a good stone foundation is in the middle of Fonthill Road, at the bottom there, where you got that little cutout. That's where the stockyards is. There's a road that runs straight down, which is a gravel track as well.
And there.
That's the one. That's it. Yeah, that's all gravel. Everything else is dirt.
And it goes off the property here.
No, it just stops there.
Stop here.
Stops there. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna have to put the boundary in so I can see what the hell's going on here.
And right where you're drawing to, we've got a gravel track that is our existing access to the farmhouse.
Which one is that? Here's the farmhouse. This track here.
So, no. Up closer to the farmhouse. Yeah, so it crosses the creek there, and then it goes straight up to the boundary and then follows the boundary.
There.
Yeah, that's it.
How does it follow the boundary?
Goes to your left.
Goes along the edge of the boundary.
Goes along the edge and then down that side.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And then that, right through there. Yeah. So that's our existing access.
This is going to look like complicated, man. Strange patterns going in all directions. You go in and out of the property there. And here. Where's the nearest sort of housing development to the property? St Mary's or something?
More than likely St Mary's. There's a few houses being built in Fingal, but not that many. It's mostly St Mary's, and then along the coast.
But actual, like real estate development, like somebody's brand or
subdivisions but not like huge housing estates like in the cities.
So now we just come along the edge of the road here, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll draw it on this side so we can see what the right.
The only thing is that Fonthill Road continues a little bit further to the right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it goes further to the right.
Goes along the edge of the road.
Oh, if you bring the map back up, you'll see the track between the priority habitat and the plantation zone. Yeah, you can see that dark road.
Goes to there or keeps going?
Yeah, and then sort of runs down and follows the road.
It runs down here.
That's it. Yep. And then off property from there. Yep.
Wow. That's a lot of road edge. So I'm going to mark these in different colours because that doesn't become obvious.
One other area that's already got a gravel base, but it's only a very short run. To the left at that section where, what do you call it? Our existing access to the farmhouse. at that little corner section, there's a little forestry track as well.
Here?
Yeah, so that corner where it goes into the property and then there's a little T intersection, that's all a gravel base as well. It's only a very small run.
Here?
Yes. Yeah, so that's a gravel base.
There.
Yeah, and then it goes to the left. Goes to the left, that corner.
Goes to here?
Left. That's the other way, other direction.
Goes in here?
Yep, and to that corner point. That's it.
So goes both ways like that?
Yeah, the only part is that where it hits that swale, it doesn't go any further than the swale at near that little pond area.
Like that?
Yeah, that's it.
So the way you have this right now, there's not that many pipe crossings because you've actually interrupted the swales on the road. Now you've just got 3 pipe crossings on here, on Fonthill Road. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Everything else is blanked off. And 1, 2, 3, 4 coming into your place, and that little tiny thing there.
Yep.
That's actually not that many pipe crossings. Where you're kind of thinking, oh, crumbs, there's going to be hundreds. There's more on the main road. How many was there on the road? There were 70 or something.
Oh, 33.
33. Well, 78. Yeah. That was great. I mean, that was quite surprising. They were all good. Like, there wasn't any kind of looked at and went, uh-oh, you know. They were all more or less, that's pretty easy to deal with. So that's, we keep getting a reasonable win on this. But, and those roads that are there, that we've marked there, they're all roads that don't need to be changed much. They're already pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, these main Fonthill Road and Cabin Road, they're actually really good quality roads.
Yeah, and the forestry maintain them as well. Same with Tower Hill Road.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, what's our next priority of road then? Where do we need to go? We're going to have to get. Obviously, this is. It's hard.
The town. Yeah, that one we'll do later. The town planning for the high intense village. That's a later issue because that'll, I'll leave that up to the town planner for the internal roads there.
Yeah, there'll be a main gate and a main road, and then a few branches going off at herringbone style and on contour. Could be quite pretty, but there's no. We know that it's going to be intense. But as far as like what's our priority of access after this? Obviously, coming off this.
Yeah, I'd say on Fonthill is access up on those slopes.
This is Cabin Road.
That one. Yeah, that one I think we'll just cut in from Cabin Road to that little house site where your finger is. So that'd be the easiest one to get to that site, just straight off Cabin Road. Yeah.
So we're going to come in above that swale, like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Like that. And then that's the highest forestry maintained road on the property, exiting there. I mean, well, here, but that where Fonthill Road's considerably lower. So if we want to climb off Fonthill Road, we better choose some good ridges.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how steep that ridge is there. I mean, let's just put some options in a second here. There's a ridge line there. This looks like a serious ridge line.
Yeah, right at the bottom there is pretty steep. I think that's why they come up from just a little bit further up. Yeah.
There's that one. There's already a bit of a road.
Yeah.
there's this one. What's this road like?
Again, it's just a dirt track.
Is it recoverable? Is it something we can develop?
I think so.
What about this? Too steep?
Well, yeah, that one's looks okay. I had the drone up the other day, and the dozer's been following those ridge lines, and it looked pretty smooth anyway.
This one might be too steep.
That one will be too steep.
How many do? If we get up there, we can then put a contour road along the top, and then we can drop off.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, this actually looks like there's a track there, and there's a track there probably, and there's a track on this one, but it doesn't go all the way up. It goes up to there.
Yeah, it sort of switches back. Yeah, that's it. And then cuts up from.
For a very good reason.
Yeah.
And there's no track on that one either. So this one, it looks like it goes left and right there, but I don't know whether that's correct.
Yeah.
That, as far as an undeveloped dirt track, that one goes the highest.
Yeah.
So you would think that would probably be the ideal. And then there's little side tracks up there. What are these?
Old forestry, just dirt tracks and fire breaks and so forth.
They're already there.
We can just clean them up.
I think that might be the best option. So they kind of come along like this. That one's kind of interesting because it kind of goes back, it switches back down that ridge. This might be a classic cabin site right out there.
Yep.
It looks like it goes this way, is that right?
Yeah. Up to the end of the swale, I think. Or just further out there, I think it goes.
There seems to be odd things. That might be a track along there like that. So do these brand tracks cover what you need or come close to it?
Comes close.
And that's in forest now up there, or is that cleared now?
It's cleared.
It's cleared.
Yep.
And they're not gravel, they're just dirt.
Yep. Just dirt.
But they have been excavated.
Yeah. Yeah. Very rough excavation, so it'll still need to be touched up.
So they don't go anywhere, do they? Like there's one entry point in, and then they go like that, and that's it.
I think there's another entry point just in the middle above the stockyards. I think there was one there. Let me bring up my map. It's a bit hard to see on the projector. Yeah, right above the stockyards, next to that creek. So in the middle of the Font Hill property where there's that little white cutout.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's the stockyards. And there's that track there that yeah, and then that continues up onto that ridge to the right through those two, that broken swale. And it sort of wraps around to the left as well.
In here?
Yeah, in there. Bit hard to see through the green, unfortunately, but yeah, it's there.
It looks like there's a line there.
That's it.
Kind of goes like that.
Yeah, and then it up the top there, it sort of loops back around and then goes up the ridge. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I see it.
Yep. And then that middle track looks like.
Does it join on?
Yeah, I think it does.
Like that?
Yeah, it does. Yep. Now, also that middle track in that middle swale, it sort of chucks a right there and then follows up through that middle section.
Right there.
Yeah. And joins up the top there, I think. No, it doesn't actually join up the top, but that'll be easy to join up.
I wonder what value there is in those tracks. I mean, how much, as it's already cleared, what value?
Yeah, and being that they're dirt, it wouldn't be much work to just cut new tracks to suit the topography.
Those are in there, and you've got a decent sized days of cutting tracks. It would almost, if you don't want to follow those tracks, considering this stuff crosses through swales you're putting in. It's something you've got to kind of consider. You're not going to want all those tracks.
No.
And then, is there a connection over here? No. Where's it going? At this altitude, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to join back up to this.
No.
It might join up to this, and then what you have to consider is it not better just to come off
Cabin Road there and
just come on contour with one track and then drop off it and forget everything. I mean, that kind of, I don't want to even switch the projector off and have a look at it. It kind of, you can see it's a mess. It's kind of all over the place. I mean, understandably, they're just trying to get trees out.
Yeah.
But you're going to put swales in.
Yep.
And then now I need, hopefully they come up on the same projection. I'm going to have to get another map up. That won't show me the contours well enough. Let's see if we can get another map or give it to us. What's up? Probably a ghost map or one of those. Satellite map, no trees, faded sat map. No.
You might need to go to the original files that don't have the zones up.
I don't know if we'll be on the same scale. That'd be a worry. Hold on.
Oh, they're all the same scale.
Okay.
That one might be a bit easier to see.
You can see the tracks easier on there. Look at all those tracks. Wow. Yeah, that is easier. How steep is this country up near that corner?
Very steep.
It's not great.
Very steep. Yeah.
How steep would it be on that red contour line?
I'd say in that middle section there, that's pretty steep.
Because it would be nice just to come off Cabin Road, more or less on contour, and cross all the way along, and then drop into the remote site. But you don't get everything you want. And some of those dirt tracks, are they hanging together okay? Do they look all right?
So as I said, they really need to be redone.
Yeah, I don't suppose you just go up there all the time, do you?
No, not all the time. No.
You went up there once or twice. How far out is our furthest remote site? Right out here.
The furthest up the top further. Yeah, so that ridge line, the plateau, sorry, to the left. Well, we're wanting to put 4 up there. There's cabins and 5 up there. 1 up on that point, and then that plateau just below your finger. Not sure if that map actually shows the proposed cabin sites or not. I think it'll be one of the other maps.
There's no individual map that shows tracks. There's tracks right out over here.
Yep.
And right up. See, people start driving on them all the time, or regularly enough, then they're going to need maintenance. And if you're not careful, you end up with a nightmare of maintenance for these cabin sites who haven't got a lot of real estate value compared to the density down the bottom. Not that we want to think too much like developers, but we've got to be sensible. Otherwise, access nightmare, and everybody's going to be wrecking their car all the time to get up to these spots. And ideally, it would be great if we could come off Cabin Road and come down from up there. Maybe.
It might be a possibility, but we'd have to consult with Sustainable Timbers if we can get access from there.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal.
I mean, you still have to go and look at it, but it doesn't look as bad. It looks like it's there.
Yeah, and I think that area was harvested in the 80s. So there are some tracks up there, it's just not showing up on this map.
What did we do here? What was this? So you coloured over the slope map. I just thought I might be able to see degrees of slope in those zones, but we can't.
Do you still have access to the original files that
Yeah.
I think it was Ben sent through?
Yeah, but I'm just going to find it.
Because it's the same scale.
Yeah. I'm doing one in California it's on 2,400 acres.
Ooh, that's a project.
300 acres of flat receives 2,100 acres of catchment.
Nice.
It's like a really steep country at the back end. Here we are. Here you are. Hopefully, it's going to hit the same scale. Hopefully. Is it?
Yep.
Did it stay in? No. Not quite. Look.
Yeah. Oh, you're not full screen though, are you?
Let me see if I'm not quite full screen. What's happened? Yeah, that's full screen.
I think you're opening it within a web browser instead of an image file.
You know more about it than I do. What does that mean? Maybe I can just move that, can I? No. How do I open it in an image file though?
Not sure. 'Cause looking at the right of the screen, it looks like you've got another window open in the background. That's what I mean. It's not quite open all the way. Yeah. Or is that part of this? Might have to download the image up the top left and then open the downloaded file.
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
Because I think you're just in a previewer.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn. With just one little notch over that. That doesn't matter. We don't need that on the back map. We can just rub it out, can't we?
Yeah.
If we get a better run at this, we know what we're looking at, don't we?
Nah.
Rub it off, we do,
Yeah. We know where the main roads are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much more obvious on this one. I don't think we're over mapping this job. I think we're still well within sensible mapping. I mean, it's possible to over map a job, but we're just trying to define what we're not going to confuse the council with. And so we've got clarity. We just need to be really clear what we're doing. So if we get any curly questions, we've got the answer, bang. That's what's going to impress them. Bloody hell, I need a heater in here. Just sure have to give me a tester here.
We love a challenge.
It's good that you can come up with a technical backup there. That's for sure. Wow, this road must be pretty steep. I'll drop it down in there. Look at that drop in there. I think you need to get up there and photograph some of these so we can have a look at the best and the worst of it. Is that possible?
Yeah, I can just send a drone up too.
Have a look at the good stuff and then have a look at the terrible stuff. I mean, some of these roads must be nearly dropping off a cliff, it looks like.
Yeah, that one there I think is non-existent. It's all overgrown up in that section, and probably we wouldn't be getting up in there anyway. It's just way steep.
What is this blue line for? What's that?
It's the fence.
And your cabin sites are on these knobs, aren't they?
Yep.
On those green knobs.
Yeah, right behind the swales.
Is there a map with the cabin sites on?
Yeah, it would have been any one of those other ones that we were looking at before. They had little house symbols on the map.
On the maps we were looking at earlier today.
Earlier, yeah.
But we've got like, we're here.
Definitely one there. Yeah.
And then there's all of these, aren't they? They're not in that red. They're on the green spot. So we've one out here, yeah?
Yep.
And then is there one there?
From memory, yeah.
So,
there's quite a lot of potential sites. I mean, not all of them will go into the final plan, of course.
okay. So what I can, there may be like, okay, that's the cabin road entry point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just going to come in off cabin road.
Yep.
You'd think.
That one's an easy one.
Easy. Forget about that joined into this, because you don't want to come across this country to get across here.
Yeah, it's crazy steep, and it'll be crazy expensive cutting through there too.
This one's a bit of a drama because it's separated by steep country. It is a bit of a, but these, like if we kind of roughly go in there,
yeah,
that may be one entry point and a contour road going around. Maybe. You know, like maybe it's got to be, you know, these, it's going to be like a load of remote sites up in that zone there. One there, and then there's this one. Well, there is a climbing road there. Like, does that road actually exist? And is it worth?
Yeah, I think it.
Is it worth going up there and coming down here and getting 3 sites? Is that sensible? Does this guy, you know, this guy want to live here and have two people driving past him every now and again?
Mm.
Or is that one luxurious site up there? That's a special. You get that ridge.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that ridge would be more of an Airbnb site, so we'll probably be limiting the number of sites up there.
Yeah. And then you weren't considering getting right up here because there's no way up.
Well, we want to do like a switchback road to get up to that section there, and then have a
The switchback to get up here.
Yep. And then off the switchback to get to that middle, that plateau just under that point too.
In here.
In there. Yep.
Chances are, if we're going to get up here, we've got to reinvigorate this road. And then get across here to this.
Yep.
And then get across here to this.
Yep.
And there's got to be a connection between here and here. And there's got to be a connection between here and here. And there's already one there that's kind of probably, they haven't done it because they've done it because it was sensible.
Mm.
But we've got to have a good look at these. Get to have a look at these like in a little bit more detail. Right, have a look at see what's actually there. So we've got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, just to simplify things a bit, so we know what we're talking about, you know, rather than just go, oh, we like that site, we like this site, you know, like it's nice country. I mean, it's nice, but this is a mission, because which creek is this? This is coming down to.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the creek's called now. Hang on, let me look at the map.
But if we've got a dam there we can cross, we'll be all right.
Long Gully Creek, that one is.
Gully Creek. So, you know, there's a bit of a mission getting past Long Gully Creek into there. But it looks like you want to get above that plateau. You want to get up on that plateau there.
Mm.
And then we've got, you know, the little exclusive number 5 over here off Cabin Road, which is a little bit tamer than the rest of them. It's almost like a semi-exclusive, that one. Is there any over this way that you're looking at?
Yeah, right where the pen is there. We're probably putting in 2 in that little green plateau in there, but there's already a track there.
So it just like that's the track there.
That's the entrance, yeah.
Good, these like maps on it. It just kind of stops you getting complicated about it. You just can see where the slope is. Is that it over that way?
Yeah, the main ones, yeah. The others are scattered throughout the silver pasture area.
Yeah, you're just coming up to the edges.
Yeah.
Where we can do a contour track if we have to, or we can drive down a swale or whatever. Drive just above a swale. These are the ones that are outside the swales.
That are tricky.
Because we're doing all this nice earthworks, we don't want to muck up and lose our reputation on these.
Mm.
You know, like we can do the rest. We can do that. Like, you know, given permission, we can work down there, and we can get into all that. But getting up here, the cost of doing it and getting it to work well. We need to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you're just going to neutralise what you're doing for what you're getting. If you're not careful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cost of doing it and the cost of maintaining it might neutralise itself. But down here, we know we've got to win. We don't normally force roads into these positions, but if the geology is right. So if we have a look at this with the drone, and then you get up with the 4-wheel drive and have a look at 1 or 2 spots to say, look, this is what happens when you get it wrong, and this is what happens when you get it right. What do we need to get it right? Like, what kind of parameters do we have to get in there? Because you're probably going to have to put this on the council map, aren't you?
Yeah.
Other stuff like it shouldn't be a problem. But this is these 2 should be fine. They're just coming straight off the Cabin Road. And once we can get to this, we can get in. We really need to get in here. So this is, what is this? This is
Fonthill Road. Yep.
It looks to me on this map. Coming in on that darker contour there would work. Anything wrong with that at the bottom end?
Should be okay, I think.
because like you can see that darker contour there, squeezes up here, but you just got a short ridge to get it. So if you can get to that dark contour, there's already a track coming around there.
Yeah, there is on that little plateau area.
Or is it better just to go, what's that track like there?
I'd say it'd be better to come in from there. It's not as steep and
yeah.
This
is a steep rise and then you're on contour, but this is just a jet line.
More of a gradual slope, yeah.
So we better have a look at that, because if we get to here, we've got to cross that valley still. Well, we can get across that valley and these other headwaters, we can get to here, and we can get up here, turn left or right, get up here and go up there. Something like that. Get across the country. Just flip through the maps on that scale and see if there's any red flags come up. Uh-oh. What have I done? No. What did I do wrong?
Just remember, you downloaded that file.
Downloaded. That doesn't help us at all. That's bullshit. That's not in scale, really, is it? We've just missed.
You'll have to download it again and open it in that other viewer to full screen it.
Right. We'll just have a look. That might be worth downloading. There is a switchback here already, but you have to then drive right through the Airbnb site.
Yeah, not ideal.
And then this, looks quite a rise, but there is a track there. So we definitely need to have a look at this track there. And then the head of this gully, you would have to try and get a dam in there to get across probably, or a major crossing, because this is a bit of a headwater here.
Yep.
This creek, to get across to make our link through into where more of our Airbnbs, our remote cabins are. And then we're not going to be on contour from that point on. and we're going up inside the valley along the ridge, but we can get up to here. So if we have some kind of dam here, it's going to look nice. Come across, come across, and climb into that position there. Climb into that position there. And then get again on round. There is a track there. There is a track going through there. Wonder what that's like.
Yeah, that one's more of an old fire break that they just dozed, but it can be rejuvenated as a road.
You can see the flatness in that section there. Yeah. Well, this whole thing here. This is probably has to be firmed up with ideas. They're fine, I reckon. And this road climb here is fine. Then this needs to be. This is definitely something that needs to be questioned in there. Like, is that okay? You know, like, what's that road like? What's that road like? This one sounds like it's okay. And then can we get from there to there? We'll do that switchback probably. Can you get across that? Pretty steep, isn't it? Looks pretty steep in there. Here's a road here. Yeah, making this connection from that ridge, making this connection through here. What's that like to get across there? Otherwise, we're just not going to get there. Surrounded by steepness. There are tracks. It is just fire breaks, I think.
That's old forestry up there, but that little section that goes up there, I think it's all overgrown.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be touching that. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
The horizontal track below that, I think that we could reuse and improve upon.
This one?
That one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, inside this shallower area, slightly flatter area, area 4, inside of there. So it's really like 1, 2, 3. You know, looks like we can get to 3. Can we get to 1 and 2? That's all. What else do we need to cover?
I think that was the main thing. Is yeah.
I'll just go back to our other maps because you've got that recorded. Back to our area maps. My goodness, we're getting some maps.
You've already got it open on the right.
Put it open over here.
Yeah.
There.
Yep, that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you have a look in the middle of the map there, once you've got it full screen,
Yeah.
You can see the little house symbols just
Right.
above the swales. Yeah.
All of these.
Yeah, so they're the proposed sites. Won't all of them will be going in there, just which is cherry pick the best locations out of them, but they're the sort of the sites that I figure that make the most sense based on the more flatter ground. The swale right there, and have a farm track just behind them on contour, or roughly on contour.
Right, so if you lose these up here, you can still pick ones down here. What's the maximum number that you think you get in?
Well, look, at the moment, we're discussing with the Clean Energy Regulator about the carbon planting project. So we're waiting to hear from them about how many that we can put in within the project zone. So it's up in the air. I think potentially the site will be able to handle 100 sites, but whether the Clean Energy Regulator and the council will allow that many, it remains to be seen.
Okay. I'm just trying to find my focus, looking at the thing upside down. 1 second.
I think you need to download that as well to open it to full screen, because you're in a preview window. That's why the last scaling wasn't right.
Yeah, I just want to get so I can the best focus I can with the projector at the moment, and I can see it. Yeah, wow, the options are massive, aren't they? I mean, you couldn't possibly put all those in. A little town.
Well, yeah, that's the goal, and the tiny village itself would contain, shops and offices and food co-op, supermarket.
What are we proposing?
I'm looking at that as there being more high density, and that will be anywhere from 50 to 150 sites, again, subject to council.
50 to 150.
So all up, with the remote sites, the Airbnb cabins, and the high density eco village, there's potential for 200 to 300 sites.
And would they allow that with that many, in the ultimate fantasy, would they allow that with all the grey water that would be going into the ground? And
that remains to be seen. Yeah.
We're
sort of looking at the max potential and then working our way back from what will be allowed.
And what's where's the nearest population of that much? Like 200 or 300, 300 or 400 people.
Yeah, that day.
How far have you got to go to get to that population again?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Is that going towards St Mary's, is it?
Yeah. Fingal's got about 400 or 500 people there. Mithina, which is also about 20 minutes away, or about 15 minutes away, they've got about 250, 300 people there.
Yeah. Okay. And this would be on its own power grid?
Well, the eco village, everything else will be remote sites, so they'd be off grid.
The eco village would be on grid?
Yeah, we'd create our own microgrid.
Yeah. Why have you put these dams on that side to Swale?
It's a good question. I may have did that wrong.
Okay. All right. I just need to ask that, right? Because this is downhill.
Yeah.
So we can just The odd one here and there is on the other side. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all at the moment. Okay. All of those sites that you put in line up pretty well with a backtrack on a swale.
Yeah, backtrack. Yeah.
But obviously, it's going to be a prior. A lot of this is going to be discovered when you do the earthworks, which is a nice way to do it. Are you going to be doing the earthworks before the council approval?
Only on the swales.
Only the swales.
Yeah.
So you're going to do the swales, but not the backtracks, because they'll probably be graded.
Yeah, just the swales at this stage.
Yeah. Right. So they'll all be contour tracks. We don't need to talk about those really. They're there. They link to a road somewhere. This is Cabin Road. This is Font Hill Road.
Yep.
It's going to be running right next to dams here. That's all right. It's going to be a busy little junction here, isn't it?
Mm.
Cross is right there. And you might have put a roundabout in there. I can't pick anything else to actually talk about on this now. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of, it's well and truly mapped. It's well and truly sectioned out with land use. Remote site access, it's just got to be defined. Especially extreme when we get up there, up on those tops, but down the bottom, there are a lot of options. There's a lot of options. Anything else you want to cover on this call?
Nothing comes to mind.
No. We're looking at remote tracks now. We're already sort of right out looking at remote tracks. Access comes off
Tower Hill Road.
Area.
Yeah, that will be the main access to Pig Creek later on. That one.
Into the industrial area.
Into the industrial area, and then sort of switches to the right down into the village.
So
I've got another
through the industrial area.
No, you don't have to, but that will be an option. There'll be another gate to the right of that pink area, or even off Cox's Road there as well. Could be an access point there as well.
Which is Cox's Road?
That road just above your finger. That one, yeah.
Right, so we could come into the purple's the village, and we can come in this way.
Yep, come in that way as well. Yeah, just got to put in another gate.
coming through shops. Your shops and everything will be here.
Yeah, shops will probably be closer to the pink area, a bit more to the right, and then the heavy industry will be right at that front access there, like sawmill, blacksmith, etc.
Have you got a town planner?
No, I was going to, after we get the rough plan sort of knotted out, and if the neighbours are okay with it, then at that point we'll be looking at hiring on a town planner, which is, I think I've received the details of the gentleman that you use.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just as a consultant town planner, to get you past the initial potential hurdles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob would be great because he has an incredible experience, and he would get his head around this straight away. And then he'd give you all kinds of, probably, if there's any red flags, he's going to see them very quickly.
Yeah.
After a quick study of the Tasmanian legislation. I don't know, but it might be difficult to get an appropriate town planner down your way. I have no idea, but I probably shouldn't say that because I'm kind of being prejudiced sort of thing. But I know that here, if we go to remote areas or country areas, it's really hard to get a town planner who knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And there can be, I mean, it can be a train wreck dealing with the wrong guy.
Mm.
You know, they just don't want to do anything that's like different.
That's out of the norm.
Yeah, that's not their reputation. When you're working with the right guy, this is exactly what he wants to do. This is exactly what he wants to use his professional skills. And he goes.
And considering 100 to 50 years ago, this was Tower Hill Township.
Yeah.
So this was a town. So it's only me now. So I want to bring it back to life.
He'd go in battle for you on it. You know, he'd use his professional skills to go and strut his stuff and say, look, we know what we're talking about. But the wrong guy is just going to go, I don't want to risk my reputation on this. I don't know what we're talking about. I've had clients who employed town planners, and I've just had to persuade them to take another professional view because some guys are hopeless. And town planners work with developers to get stuff done for bad reasons. Like they get bad things approved so that they get their...
Like building on floodplains. It's crazy.
Yeah, they get their backhander. They're obviously getting a percentage because you can imagine what a town planner can then earn for a developer. To get an unethical town planner, it's like, and they'd look at this and go, oh, I don't want to do this. This is a bit strange. Well, we're looking at it going, this is exciting. Yeah. At the moment, I can't see anything much else to look at until we get some more info. The only thing, and I'm almost due to say, like, do you even worry about that at the moment? Access is going to be difficult up in that high country. But if the options are, if we can't get it, we just move down to contour access down here. Then it's easy and beautiful. You know, like actually very attractive looking access because you've got this lovely gentle road. You can cycle those roads. You know, gentle roads. Exactly. An electric mountain bike. I'd say
they're getting very big here in Tas too.
Well, they're quiet.
Yep.
The wildlife hear you coming. They're very big in the Ukraine as well.
Right.
For the military. Because they don't hear them.
Oh, yeah. Sneak attack.
The Russians all of a sudden are getting a rocket launcher on their tanks, and the guy's already left on a quiet bike. They didn't hear him come, they didn't hear him go. It's a new version of stuff. So, but the same for wildlife, they don't hear you. And great, the other shareholders don't hear you either. So it's not sort of a mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that we'd probably push for as part of the community in a few more years would be more focus on EVs as well and keep the quiet down, the pollution down. If we've got a nice big solar system there and maybe can hook that up to micro hydro as well, we'll be able to charge electric vehicles on site.
Yeah.
So
this cabin road, is that a tarred road?
no, it's gravel.
All gravel.
All gravel. But hard packed gravel, I'd say.
Yeah, runs off water pretty well.
Yeah, it's got a good crown and all on it. Good drainage.
That's it for now then, mate. I think that's it. If you want to get that other footage up there and have a look at that, we can do that.
I'll go up on the quad bike and take the drone up as well, and yeah.
And and if you come up with other questions before you start earth moving, let me know. But
Can do.
That's about where we're at, I reckon. I can't see anything that's much of an issue from our point of view. The red flags might then come in when the council have a look and go and ask questions.
Yeah.
And we have to solve those, those questions. That's all. They'll always want to, they need to sound important. So they're going to ask.
Got to justify the position.
Yeah. That you do it straight up. They're going to put something, but you've got so many options. It doesn't really matter if that's that way, or whatever. You've got enough room for the village, you've got enough room for the industrial area, you've got access, and you've got lots of options for sites. And there's water all over the place. And if we don't get these dams, we get those dams. They won't know what.
Yeah.
They won't have a clue what to play. And you can see all these little cattle dams over here. They're all holding water, it looks like. Yeah, no, I can't see any issues, mate. Let me know if you want to get back to this. Otherwise, it's going to be... When do you get the bulldozer? When do you get the excavator?
1st of July.
1st of July. So we've got a month. Well in front of the game. Yeah. Take that stuff. Let's have a look at that, and we'll go into our next meeting.
No worries.
All right, mate.
All right, okay. Thanks, Geoff. Should I, with my mapping as well, just draft out some of these backtracks behind the swales to access these remote sites?
I think it will be good to just try and mark a map that's access, whatever
access,
it is.
Just an access map. Yep, can do.
And it would be really good if you got this legend of these areas put in.
Okay, yeah, I can do that easily.
Remember, and some of these colours are a little bit similar. Like fade that one back a bit or something. Then just get a legend in the side, and that'll kind of like, oh my, it's going to look impressive. You're going to have to do it in the end anyway.
Yep.
Because the average councillor won't listen to him.
No worries. And then I might, once I've done that draft map, I might have a chat to a couple council members that I know personally and run it by them and see what their rough thoughts are before proceeding further officially with the council.
That would be good, because that might influence what we then focus on a bit.
Yeah.
Their comments, what comments they have. They're just going to have casual comments if you approach them the right way.
Yeah. All right. I think we've got a plan then.
Okay, mate. All right.
Thanks for the help, Geoff.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Okay.